What's up, guys? I know a lot of you guys out there went free comic book day shopping, picked up a free comic book day lot just like I did, but some of you did some extra shopping, and that's what I want to get into today. So if you're like me on free comic book day, you took advantage of the discounts that they had and you ran out, maybe grabbed an oldie but goodie, or maybe even grabbed some of those good old variant covers. But what we're going to talk about today is protecting those comics, getting some of those little grungy fingerprints off those newer comics and older comics, maybe even get some dust off on them, and basically how to store them as well to get the best value you can. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Whoa. It's crazy being black.
So what we have here is your basic comic protection and cleaning kit. And here's the things you we're going to use to clean them and keep them protected. We'll start with the cotton gloves. I like to use cotton. I think this is the best. I've seen people use maybe rubber or latex type gloves. These gloves here are medical gloves, as you can see. So, and you can get them pretty cheap online. Somewhere in between $1 to $5, Amazon, eBay, anything like that. Next, we have the microfiber wipe. Use this to dust off the comics. I'll demonstrate in a minute or two. Next, we have the simple bag and board, which is pretty self-explanatory. Of course, to board and bag the comic. So let's get into cleaning off the comic and what I mean for those of us that go to garage sales and pick up books like this that are pretty dusty, which the dust can damage the comic and the paper and make it deteriorate over time. The bag and boarding process is really easy and the cleaning is really simple. And what we're going to do here is just take the microfiber wipe, simply rub across the front and go across the back. And basically what we're doing is just removing the dust and removing any fingerprints that may be on it from the oils in our skin, because they can damage the comic. And basically next you just want to go ahead and bag and board it. Make it real easy. Also, quick note, make sure the boards you grab are 100% acid free. This is basically the acid in the chemicals in the plastic and the paper can mix with moisture and actually cause damage. And this is what actually turns the comic yellow. So this can actually damage the pages, maybe even give you a water look or a dingy dent look. And that's what we don't want, and we want to avoid that. So make sure they are 100% acid free. There are different types of bags, some slimmer to give you more tight fit, silver age, I think golden age and everything. So that's pretty much up to you and how you want to bag those and board them, and if you want to get them tighter, more vacuum sealed type look. I go with the silver comics and make sure they're 100% acid free. Also the resealable kind. Now I don't use Scotch tape because the Scotch tape I've had bad experiences with. Basically, I have the tape here or wherever I have it, fold it over, and when I'm opening it up to take the comic out for whatever reason, when I slide it out, the tape gets caught on the front page, and I've ripped comics that way, and oh man, I was pissed. So basically, make sure you don't use Scotch tape, or if you do, it's up to you, but I do not prefer it. The resealable kind is really easy. Simply just take this little plastic here, and you just rip that off. Just like that, fold it on back, and you're done. That's it. And you can simply open it up, real easy. See that? And then just seal it right on back. So it's a lot safer and easier than Scotch tape. But if you have some older bags that are not resealable, or some bags in general that are not resealable, you can, use Scotch tape, but I prefer the resealable bags. I think it's safer and easier. So let's go ahead and move on to the boxing process. Once we're done doing the protection process and cleaning process, we want to go ahead and bag and board everything and stack them in a certain manner. Now, stacking them in a certain manner is how you keep them from being damaged in the box. So you can damage the bottom, you can damage the corners, and here's a good way to keep them stacked and keep them even. Now, some books have 40 pages and some have 80 pages, so they're actually uneven, and we actually don't think about this. So what we want to do is something really simple. Take the comic, and instead of lining them up in this manner, back to back to back, just simply flip it over. Have it face to face. And when you have it face to face, it keeps them more even. The staples on this side, staples on that side, evens them out and keeps them compressed in a nice state. Flip it like that. face it over, that, face it to it, and you have a nice even stack, and it can keep your comics compressed to where they're not uneven, and you can slide them in the box this way as well. And this is the best way to start the process. As you can see, there's a lot of cleaning and reorganizing myself. And what I want you to do, I think is the easiest way, is to sit the box up. So when you're putting these things, putting the comics back in there after you put them face to face and you're putting them back in the box, I think the best way, instead of putting them down on top in the normal way, you can actually damage them, because I've accidentally, they slid out of my hand, fell down pretty hard, it can damage the corners. I think the best way is landing down, taking them by maybe about 10 of them, sliding them into the top, sliding them in, and simply fold the box on down. Here, let me demonstrate really quick, just like this. So basically, we're gonna take one hand and grab the box, hold the top maybe, slide it. Real simple, that way it doesn't flop down, it doesn't really mess up and damage the bottom of the comics. Maybe even push them down real light, make sure they're nice and even there. And basically what we want to do next is take a cardboard. So you're going to cut up a piece of cardboard and slide that piece of cardboard in, just like this here. So we're going to take the cardboard that we cut out here and use this cardboard to put on the ends inside the box here. And by putting it inside the box here, what we're doing is seeing this flap right here, these flaps on the inside. These flaps actually push the book out, and when they push the last comic out, it bends the bottom of the comic and bends the other side as well, and you can get a couple of them that bend in there. So what we want to do is slide the board inside right here on the very end. That way you keep it straight and keep it protected, just like we needed to. So again, you don't want to forget about the bags. Add 100% acid free. Also make sure the current size is for around the 80s to about right now. And the silver age bags as well, which is the 70s on back to around like the 60s. And the 50s and 40s, of course, would be the golden age bags. So make sure they're acid free and make sure you use these. Some work with the others, but the current bags will not work with the silver age and golden age. Those were bigger. They were considered magazines, so those are bigger than the current size, which is a lot smaller. But some silver age may fit in here, give you like a snug fit, so they won't shift around inside the bag, but most of them won't. But you can try it if you want to. Now the final part of protecting your comics I want to talk about is comic book grading. So with companies like CGC, CBCS, and PGX. Now this is the most expensive way to go, but it's probably one of the best ways to go with protecting your comics. So CGC costs around $25 for a current age comics like this one. Silver and golden age, I believe, may be a little bit different. I'll add the links in the description so you can click on the sites and see for yourself and price them. So basically, this gives the comic book collectors, people, whoever you want to sell your comic book to, local shops or websites, it gives them an actual grade that they can visually see and know what grade the comic is, what value that they can have with the comic. So basically, this is a really good way to go, but do it for your most valuable comics is what I recommend, because this can become expensive. You think you have maybe 30 or 40 comics worth $40 or $50 a piece, or maybe even more, even thousands, that can get expensive. So the ones that are your most valuable is the ones I recommend that you get graded. Now CBCS does cost around the same. I think it's more for the Silver Age and Golden Age comics as well. I think they're around $25 too. PGX now I know is the cheapest option. I think they're around $13 for current age comics, and I think Golden Age may cost more. Check out their website and check for sure. But they also have this service that I haven't used it and I'm thinking about using. They claim on the site they can get out the bind bins in the corners of the comics, you know, the ones that have little lines and little bins from sitting on racks. So they claim that this can push up the value, and they can do it, you know, without messing up the comic. I don't know how. Doesn't really give a full explanation of how they can do it, but that's around, I think, $12 or $13 a piece. And for certain comics, I'm thinking about doing it myself, so I want to raise the value. I think I can get some 9.6 and 9.8s out of some of my comics that have a little value on them. And I think I'm going to try that, and then maybe come back and comment, or maybe even make a video about it so you guys will know how it went. So anyway, this is the last option. We're gonna go through, you can go through the other steps to protect your comics. There's many different ways to protect your comics. There's various different ways to clean them, keep them in the best condition that you can. But if you like this video, subscribe. If you want to comment, please do. Let me know what's good, what's bad, and how you feel, and maybe what you do to protect your comics that may be even better. Until then, see you guys later.
I guess it's safe to say, if I pave a way, or maybe save the day, Captain Sail away if I had